So talking division basics. I know y'all have all come in with some background in division, and that is awesome because it's my favorite operation. Out of our 4 operations, they all go further with us in our education. So there's different strategies and items that you're going to learn with this. 5.3C is our standard in 5th grade. Solve with proficiency for quotients of up to a 4-digit dividend by a 2-digit divisor using strategies and the standard algorithm. Now, what does that mean in our terms? Solve with proficiency. What does it mean to be proficient? Who has an idea of what you kind of think proficiency to mean, Blaze?
Maybe faster and oh man, I have it in my head, but
okay, fast is a term you used.
solve with effort.
Effort, kind of. What kind of effort? Proficiency, yes. But what does that mean?
To be good and try your best at it.
Yeah. Okay, you might try your best at something, but you might not be mastering it. So you need to be accurate, right? Accurate, efficient, and effective. That's what it means to be proficient. For quotients, notice the way I've underlined these 3 words. They're very big division terms that I want you to utilize really well. Boys, quotients of up to 4-digit dividend by a 2-digit divisor using strategies and the standard algorithm. Strategies, I kind of put around a cloud around it. Mark, I'm going to kind of teach y'all a variety of strategies. Some of them may be something you attach to and love really well. Some of them may be something that you're like, okay, I see that that's one way to get to the answer, but it might not be your favorite way. The standard algorithm is this, the way you're kind of used to seeing division. And you're accountable for knowing how to use this and well. Okay? So if you don't have that, I have it listed right here, and it's hanging up on my wall at all times while we're learning division. I want you to kind of open your mind up and think about, you know what, I'm going to teach you the terms of division really well, because I want you to become fluent in speaking math words. You know how you're fluent in English? Because we all speak it in this classroom in our school at Walker Creek in North Richland Hills in the state of Texas on the continent of North America on planet Earth. Okay? That's not the language spoken everywhere, but here in this classroom, we not only speak English, but we speak math. So I want you to know these terms really well. So listen to my story right quick. I want you to think in division, what's that symbol you're used to seeing with the standard algorithm? You may not even know what it's called, but describe it to me. What does it look like? Ooh, what you think, Tien?
It has 2 dots on the top and the bottom.
Okay. He's talking about this one.
What?
The dots with that line in the middle.
Division.
You're used to seeing division with that symbol. What about with the standard algorithm, Jimmy?
Like an L flipped on its side.
I like the way you said that. It's like an
teacher
L
called it a bridge.
flipped on its side. I want you to imagine that within this, we have, and this is where a little bit of my story begins. Think of a bear that hibernates in the winter. They kind of hibernate in what's known as a den. So who's inside of it? First of all, you have your big bad bear. So that largest number in division goes here. Okay? You know how, just stay with me. I know I'm not an artist, but this is known as our dividend. You see the way I did that? Dividend.
Nice.
Now it's spelled, it doesn't have those hyphenations and everything.
That's wordplay.
It's a dividend. Do you remember how I said in multiplication, you're looking for a big?
A whole number. A total.
A total. Thank you. Boys, In multiplication, you're looking for your big total. In division, they will give you your big total. Every time, if you're doing division, they're going to give you your big total. And what is it known as? It's known as your dividend. Okay? This guy out front, known as what you're dividing by. You're taking your big total. Ooh, I misspelled it. It is your divisor.
Divisor. Oh, here's a shirt that my teacher said last year.
Yeah, what is that?
It's where it's called divisor. You need a visor to like move yourself outside.
Okay. You need a visor when you're outside. So he's bringing in the visor portion of this. You're outside of our den, our dividend. Who goes up top? Coach Barkley.
Maybe the protector, which could be like the big, like the number.
Do you know what this is called in division as an answer?
It's the thing if the first number is like bigger, it's supposed to be what equals it by timing the number on the side of it to put it on top.
Yeah, if this was multiplication, you can multiply the divisor in what this is called. To get your dividend, the big product or the dividend in division. What's it called? Quotient. Now, I'm going to kind of bring in where this word came from. In Latin,
Wow, this is right.
you could call this quotients. Now, whenever you go to Spanish, it's que tienes. Who knows what that means?
Oh,
Now that's Miss.
I do.
Tienes.
Mom and Dad say
Who knows what that?
I do.
You know what that means?
I think.
In math, we're going to call it our quotient. We're going to refer to this as being the evolution of our word. And what this means is how much do you have? How much do you have? Question mark. How much do you have? Quotients, que tienes, quotient. So in the end, whenever I'm taking my dividend, splitting it up in equal groups, I'm going to end up getting my answer known as my quotient, how much I have in every single group. And there's going to be an equal amount. We'll talk about that in a second. This is just our vocabulary. Okay? I want to go into
on the other side of dividend.
right there.
dividend, divisor.
I know, but on dividend, it's about the 2 lines.
Oh, it's right here.
Oh.
Okay. Looking at, I want to show you how you're used to seeing it. You know how, and remember, referring back to our math vocabulary, if I have a product, I took a factor times a factor to equal a product, right? Factor times a factor equals my big what? Hey, my big what?
Total.
Total, known as a?
Quotient.
No, we're in multiplication.
Known as a product.
Product, thank you. Now, they're not going to give us these terms in division. You basically start off with your big total that you're used to getting in multiplication. What was that called again?
Quotient.
Quotient. Quotient is your answer. Divisor is what you're dividing by. What is my big total known as? Dividend. You're used to it looking like this. Dividend divided by what? These are multiplication terms. This is division terms. Dividend divided by my divisor is my quotient. Good. Now, I'm labeling this, you should in your notes, boys, being, I'm going to put this in red, being your answer. Notice the way I'm going to put in green, big total. In multiplication, I'm looking for my big total. In division, they give me my big total. And it comes up front. I don't use it in the end. Over here, my answer is known as my quotient. Answer. Now, like Kaiden said earlier, if you took your quotient and multiplied times your divisor, you would get your big total. Because they're known as what? Do y'all remember what these two operations are called? They are opposite. What's that term known as? Ooh, remember?
Equations.
They're equations if they're balanced out on both sides. But what is it if they're opposite of each other?
That division is about splitting and multiplication is about like putting them all together.
Yes.
They're like adding and
Okay.
subtraction.
They're known as inverse operations.
Oh, yeah,
Inverse. They're opposites. Y and R. Y and T. They're opposite operations. They're known as inverse operations. Inverse. So what's the inverse of addition? Subtraction. So these are complete opposites. These are some basics that you have to know to be accurate in our division and multiplication.